Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at Chapter 8, Prepositions. We'll start first with the pretest. And the pretest will highlight some of the most important aspects throughout the entire chapter. And then we'll talk a little bit about that and then reiterate that later in the chapter. First one is, it's not surprising. And first of all, before you begin a sentence, remember it and there is probably not a good choice of words to begin a sentence with, because it makes it wordy. But we're looking at other aspects of grammar, so that's probably why there's so many sentence examples that they use, and some of them just automatically start with it and there. Not a good choice in business writing, though, however. But it goes on to say, it's not surprising that philanthropists like Melinda Gates and he or him are admired. The word like is a preposition. And so if the word like, let me show you your subjects. Let's see. Actually, the subject is it is surprising. There's your verb phrase. And then a adjective clause like Melinda and he or him are admired. Very awkward right here. This is a very awkward put together sentence, but the word like can be used as a noun, it can be used as a verb, and it can be used as a preposition. Never use the word like as a conjunction. In other words, if you have the word like and then have a noun and verb that immediately follows it, you've used it incorrectly. And we do that all the time. As a noun, in the likes, or many likes are completed in Facebook or are clicked on Facebook. Many likes are clicked on Facebook. So likes is your subject and it's a noun, and then are clicked is your verb phrase. So as a noun, it works effectively, and also as a preposition, it works effectively. When you see the word like, then you need to take an object. So you have the word like, Melinda Gates, and then remember, any pronoun that's in a prepositional phrase must be in the objective case. Bet you thought you were never going to see that particular statement again. And an objective case pronoun is me, us, you, him, her, it, them. Me, us, you, him, her, it, them. So it must be him right here, letter B. So it's not surprising that philanthropists like Melinda Gates and him are admired. So letter B is your correct answer on this one. But never use the word like as a introduction to, or a join or a conjunction that joins two independent clauses. Never. And we'll look at some examples of that a little bit later. The second one is, please send your application to the hiring manager or I or me. Okay, to is a preposition, and it shows relationship to the object of the preposition, which is going to be I or me. Again, if there's a pronoun in a prepositional phrase, always use an objective case pronoun, me, us, you, him, her, it, them, which is letter B. Number 3, Lydia is frustrated because she receives too many texts messages from her colleagues. The word to is an adverb meaning an excessive amount. So that excessive amount is spelled T-O-O, which is letter B. It's modifying the adjective many. Okay, then she feels as if, or she feels like, these numerous text messages are affecting her productivity. Okay, here's what I was talking about earlier. Here's the word like, and so she feels is your subject and your verb, and then the word like, messages is your subject, are affecting. So we have two independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction like, and like is not a coordinating conjunction. So we have to use the word as if. She feels as if these numerous text messages are affecting her productivity. So if you see the word like there and a noun and verb that immediately follows it, you know beyond a shadow of doubt to change that to some other word or restructure your sentence, one or the other. Alyssa was honored to sit beside or besides the CEO at the banquet. Well, the difference between beside and besides, this one's an easy one to remember. The S, the extra S, the additional S on besides means in addition to. The word beside means by the side of something or someone. So Alyssa was honored to sit by the side of. So letter A is going to be your correct answer here. Make sense? Anyone besides John attending the conference. Anybody in addition to John. That S indicates an extra S at the end of it, which means in addition to. Anyone besides John or anyone in addition to John going to attend the conference. Then I would use the second choice with besides. This one is letter A, by the side of. Then let's see, that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. Divide the profits evenly between or among the 3 partners. It's between the 2 of us, but it's among the 3 of us. So if it's more than 2, then use the word among. So among is a preposition, the 3 partners, and use among instead of the word between if it's 3 or more. Okay, then let's see, that was number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 7, please turn your form in to your supervisor by Friday or into your supervisor by Friday. First, the word in means in place, position, or location. In place, position, or location. And that's what this one's talking about here. So please turn your form in to, and the word to is a preposition, to your supervisor, and then another one is by Friday. There's 2 prepositional phrases there. It's that word to. So if the word in introduces a prepositional phrase, then it's 2 words. It means place, location, or position. If it's in position, place, or location, then make sure you use just the word in. Okay, so to is a preposition, and the object is supervisor. Also, if the word to is associated with a verb next to it, then it's going to be 2 words. In, to, complete. So there's a verb right after the word to, then make sure in and to are 2 separate words. In, to complete, or in, to your supervisor. Meaning place, position, or location. Now the word into has 3 meanings. Into means entering something. It can also mean running into something, entering something, or running into something or someone. And it can also mean, oops, I just marked on my glasses. Let's see, let me pull this out really quickly. Or changing form. That was the one I couldn't remember. In indicates a position, place, or location. Into can mean several things, including entering something, changing form, or making contact. So the FCIC public hearing was held in the Dirksen Senate office building on Capitol Hill. So the preposition in right here indicates a location. We will move into our new facilities on May 1. Preposition into means entering something. And their son is grown into, one word, a fine young man, means changing form. And then I ran into Miko on the way to the seminar. It indicates running into someone. So into is used to enter something, change form, and making contact. In means place, position, or location. And whenever it's employed as an adverb preceding an infinitive or a prepositional phrase like in, to see, there's an infinitive right there, then make it 2 words. And then if you use it to in, and then you have a prepositional phrase, make it 2 words there as well. It's one of the more complicated prepositional phrases, believe it or not. Okay, and then let's see. Number 8. Do you plan on taking, or do you plan to take a 2-week vacation this summer? Anytime that you have to right next to a verb that can be used, use the infinitive over the prepositional phrase. It usually has more impact. So do you plan to take? Letter B. Then number 9, management and workers alike agreed to or agreed with the contract. You can't agree with the contract, but you can agree to the terms of the contract. So you agree to. Now that is a kind of where you have 2 prepositions right next to each other and several words that go together as a preposition are illustrated later in the chapter, and we'll take a look at some of those. But you agree to something. But you agree with another person. You agree to something, but you agree with other people. We'll look at that. And also, nothing is ever different than. We say that all the time, don't we? But that's actually incorrect. Nothing is different than this. It's different from something, right? It's always different from, never different than. So different than should never be used. We're always different from something. You also hear the word centered on or centered around. The topic was centered around this. Well, if it's centered around, it's not centered, right? So it's centered on. So those 2 words should always be used together. Never centered around, but only centered on. So we'll look at some of those correlatives in just a minute. So here are some common prepositions. There's 60 of them. About, above, according to, across, after, against, along, alongside, along with, among, around, at, before. Oh yeah, I bet you're noticing that some of these words can be used as dependent clauses, subordinating conjunctions for dependent clauses. Well, for example, right there, the word before. Before I complete this section, comma, whenever I have the word before and then a noun and a verb after it, it's probably going to be dependent, making the word before a subordinating conjunction. But if I have something before time, I can make that a prepositional phrase because it takes time as the object of the preposition before. So it's also used as a preposition. So many of these words can be used as other parts of speech, but if there's a noun and verb that immediately follows them, they're not functioning as a preposition. But if the object, excuse me, if the object of that preposition is used to connect it to that preposition, then it is a prepositional phrase. Behind, below, beneath, beside, besides, between, and then also among. Did they put that one in there? Yeah, among right over there. Beyond, but. Yeah, the word but is in there, which is usually a coordinating conjunction. But if it's used to everyone but Mary, then Mary's the object of the preposition but in that particular case. By, despite, down, due to, during. Except is also a preposition. For, from, in and into, in addition to, in spite of, inside. Like, which we've already mentioned, can be used as a preposition, but never as a conjunction. Near, of, off, on, onto, on account of, opposite, outside, over, through, to, toward, under, until, up, upon, with, and within or without. Those are your most commonly used prepositions, and again, they function as other parts of speech, but if they take objects, then we know they're part of a prepositional phrase. So if you have a pronoun inside of a prepositional phrase, and then there's other prepositions like the word, like, between, except, and but, those are also prepositions. Just between you and me, okay? Like Jeff Bezos and her, you can use as a preposition. By everyone but them, those are 2 different prepositional phrases right there. So if there's a pronoun in a prepositional phrase, make sure you use an objective case pronoun, which is me, us, you, him, her, it, them. Never use a subjective case pronoun in a prepositional phrase. Okay, some of the combinations of words that give us a little bit of a problem with prepositions. In informal discussion, I might have said, I should have done this, or I could have done this, or I would have done this had I known this. So should have, could have, would have, actually should never be used in business writing, and we need to change it, as well as formal or informal conversation as well, and use the word have instead. Should have, could have, or would have. Make it a verb phrase rather than turning it into a verb plus preposition, which really don't go together, so it's really not grammatically correct in the first place. So instead of Elliot should have cited, he should have cited. Okay, use the word, note the difference between off and off of, or use the word from instead. Instead of saying Renee had to borrow cab fare off of Tristan, avoid that and use the word from instead. Fiona says she got the information off of you, not off of you, but from you. So change the language. Don't make it so informal that it becomes unprofessional. And then to for to. The word to means in a direction toward. Do not use the word to as in place of the adverb to, T-O-O, which means additionally, also, or excessively. The word to, T-O, may also be part of an infinitive construction. So we'll be flying to, it takes the object of the preposition, to what or who? Austria. So that's your prepositional phrase. And then we have to attend, where it's an infinitive, it's T-O, a sustainability conference. To meaning in a direction toward. Amazon.com will soon deliver packages using drones as well, or in addition to, or as well as probably, will be using drone packages as well, T-O-O. I plan to try the new Burmese restaurant as well, or to, or also. To could be excessively. Profits were how small? They were too small, T-O-O. To declare, infinitive, T-O. Okay, level 2. Commonly confused prepositions, among and between. Among means three or more. So amongst the three of us, or among three of us brothers, between the two of us, between us two. Okay, beside, besides. Beside means next to or by the side of. And the word besides means in addition. It has an extra S, means in addition to. Let's see, the woman sitting by the side of, beside me on the plane was Indra Nooyi, CEO of PepsiCo. In addition to a resume, besides with the additional S, a resume, you should bring a list of your references to the interview. The word except means excluding or but is sometimes confused with the verb accept, which means to receive. Remember that a pronoun following the preposition except must be in the objective case, me, us, you, him, her, it, them. Everyone except Paula and him. Since that's used as a preposition, and the object is Paula and him, then it must be in the objective case, which is me, us, you, him, her, it, them. Then Jake was excited to take the job or to accept, A-C-C-E-P-T, as a verb from Berkeley Research Group. We've already talked about in, into, and into. In means place, position, or location. And into can mean multiple things. It can mean entering something, changing form, or making contact. So here we have the FCIC. Public hearing was held in as a location in the Dirksen Senate office building on Capitol Hill. We will move into, we're entering something, our new facilities on May 1, so it's one word, into. Their son has grown into a fine young man, meaning he's changed form. And then I ran into Miko, and then we met somebody. Indicates making contact with someone. Use into as one word. And then some contract constructions may employ in as an adverb preceding an infinitive. In to see, so if you have to see an infinitive, then use in and to as two separate words. And then you have, please turn your final project in, and then you have a prepositional phrase, to your professor. Make those two separate words. Okay, then the word like, use it as a verb, as a noun, and as a preposition, but never as a coordinating conjunction. Okay, so he looks a lot like the actor Bradley Cooper. Like is used as a preposition to introduce the object Bradley Cooper. So that's a prepositional phrase right there. Okay, don't say this. If you have the word like and then a noun and a verb immediately after it, you know you're not correct. And this is so common. Like I said earlier, you probably heard me say that before. Like I said earlier, it should be as I said earlier. Never like I said. Noun and verb that follows the word like is wrong 100% of the time. Change that to say, as I said in my email message, and now that's an introductory adverbial clause that's dependent, and it's offset with a comma, and then the main clause is deadline has changed. This one right here, he looks as if or like. Here we have the word like. Don't use like. He looks like he is prepared. So immediately after the word like is a noun and a verb. That's how we know it's incorrect. So we have to say, he looks as if he is prepared. Same thing, it sounds as though the new Facebook rules will hurt small businesses. Don't use the word like right here. It sounds like the new Facebook rules will hurt. See, there's a noun and verb right there. Rules will hurt. Right after the word like. So use as though in this particular case. Okay, sometimes we have prepositions we have to put in there in order for the sentence to make sense. For example, if I said, our appreciation for and interest in your ideas remain strong. So we have two subjects, appreciation and interest, to make plural verb remain. Appreciation, interest, remain strong. So that's correctly used even with these extra prepositions. Our appreciation for and interest in your ideas remain strong. So include extra prepositions if you need them to clarify your statement. Okay, avoid unnecessary prepositions at the same time. Okay, where did the reception go to? Just say, where did the receptionist go? Leave the shipment outside of the door. Just say outside the door. They have the same purpose there. It's just overkill. Both of the candidates are qualified. No, just say both candidates are qualified. Let's see. Okay, for. I couldn't put the preposition in there. I'm not sure where the diversity training is scheduled for. Just as scheduled. Leave off the word for. Where do you live at? Just say, where do you live? What is your address? Leave off the extra prepositions if they're not really needed. What about ending a sentence with a preposition? You've heard that one before. Never end a sentence with a preposition. It depends on its effectiveness. If it sounds way too formal for your audience, then it's okay to go ahead and do so. If it's not awkward, like, where did you put the documents at? Just say, where did you put the documents? Okay, that one, it obviously needs to be removed. But in these particular cases right here, the informal language, what professional organization is he a member of? That sounds so much better than using the formal use of Of what professional organization is he a member? So, of what professional organization is he a member of? Almost sounds like you're going to add an accent to it by starting with the word of what professional organization, something like that. But in conversation, look at this. In the past, language authorities warned against ending a sentence or a clause with a preposition. In formal writing today, some careful authors continue to avoid ending sentences with prepositions. In conversational and informal writing, however, terminal prepositions are acceptable, depending on how it's used. I would prefer the informal method of this one. Actually, I would rather say which. Which professional organization is he a member of? Because what kind of has the same overtone, but now I'm asking which one, because there's multiple ones. So the word which is probably a better word than the word what. So which professional organization is he a member of? Or what is this Mount Mobile app used for? That terminal preposition makes better sense than saying, for what is this mobile app used for? Almost have to add the word for at the end of it too. We missed the television news program he appeared on, ended with a preposition. Better than saying, we missed the television news program on which he appeared. So here it sounds a little bit better. So informal sometimes takes precedence. If you can get rid of that prepositional phrase at the end of the sentence, do so. Where did he go to? Just say, where did he go? That's all that's necessary. But if your formal use of that preposition is awkward, use the informal. Okay, idioms. Idioms are expressions that usually go together, and here are some idiomatic prepositions. One that's not listed here is accompanied by. You always accompanied by a person, and you're accompanied with an object. That one was not listed in here, at least I couldn't find it. There are several: acquainted with, addicted to a substance. You're adept in or at something, you adhere to. But the problems, look at this one. You agree on mutual ideas, but you agree to proposals or undertaking actions. And you agree with a person or his or her idea. So if you agree on mutual ideas, our team members agree on nearly everything. Mutual ideas, on is the word that they use. But you agree to a proposal or undertaking an action. Did they agree to reduce benefits? Agree with, only a person. I agree with you, not I agree to you. I agree with you on this issue. We agree with her suggestion. You're angry about a situation, you're angry at a thing, but you're angry with people. You always center on, never around. His campaign speech centered on the economy. We use the word around more commonly than not, don't we? You're always convenient to a location, but you're convenient for a person. The office building is convenient to public transportation. Or, convenient for, we make returns convenient for a person, our customers. You correspond to things, but you correspond with people. A company's success corresponds to its leadership, a thing. But we correspond with our clients, a person, regularly. You differ from things, you differ with people, but you're always different from, never different than. The film version is different from the textbook. Never the film version is different than the book. We always say different than, don't we? Get that out of your language. It should never be different than, always different from. And disagree with people. So with is more likely than not with a people, with a person. And to and from are usually more with things. There's an entire list on the next page as well. Where you reconcile with, meaning to match, or reconcile to, meaning to accept. Checkbook figures must be reconciled with bank figures when you match them. He has never become reconciled to retirement, meaning to accept retirement. Okay, you speak to or you talk to tell something, or you speak with or you talk with to discuss something. The FAQs on the next page. I'm in the military and know how to pronounce the various ranks such as colonel and sergeant, but I have such a tough time spelling them. Why are their spellings and pronunciations of these words so different? Because they are derived from the French. Sergeant, by the way, you can easily remember how to spell that by calling him Serge, S-E-R-G-E, and then adding an ant. The Serge stepped on an ant. Serge, S-E-R-G-E, and then A-N-T. So think about those things to help you with the memorization of spellings. Okay, can you help me? I just wrote this sentence. She is supposed to place an order tomorrow. Is there something wrong with it? Absolutely. Suppose, you should use supposed instead of suppose. The verb suppose means to lay down tentatively or to hold an opinion. Like, we suppose you might get a raise, or we think you might get a raise. The adjective supposed means something intended. I was supposed to call my mom today, but I didn't. It's something I intended to do. Okay, what's wrong with saying Lisa graduated college last year? Because she didn't graduate a college. Colleges can't graduate themselves. She graduated from college. Get the difference there? Lisa graduated from college last year. I'm writing a sentence that reads, please proceed to the podium. Is this correct? Yes. Please proceed means to go forward or to continue. Precede means come before. Okay, an example. The word, let's see, a discussion will come before the final vote or precede. Please go to the podium means proceed or to continue. When I access my email, Facebook, Twitter, and other accounts, what am I doing? Do I log on? Do I log on with a hyphen, or do I log on as one word? Or perhaps I log in as two words, log in with a hyphen, or log in as one word. It's all so confusing. And it says, when you sign into an online account using a username and a password, you log in or you log on. Usually it's logging in to something as two words. When you visit an online site, you log on. However, these two terms are often used interchangeably, with log in being more popular for all uses. Notice that both verb forms are written as two words. When you are using the words as nouns, hyphenate them. My log on or login ID was not successful. When it's used as a noun or as an adjective, then you can hyphenate them. But whenever they're used as a verb, always log in or log on as two words. Okay, it should sometime be one or two words in the following sentence. Can you come over sometime soon? So in this particular case, it says you should have used the one word, because sometime is one word means an indefinite time. The convention is sometime in December as one word. But the two-word combination means a period of time. We have a little bit of time or some time to spare. Okay, then let's see. I saw this printed recently. Some of the personal functions being reviewed are job descriptions, job specifications, and job evaluation. Is personal, P-E-R-S-O-N-A-L, used correctly? No. They're talking about human resource functions. So it should be personnel, P-E-R-S-O-N-N-E-L. I have personal problems, P-E-R-S-O-N-A-L. But I need to talk about some leave with personnel, P-E-R-S-O-N-N-E-L. Okay, is there any difference between proved and proven? Well, the form is proved, proved, and proved. Those are the tenses of this particular verb. So it should be, even if you have the word have, has, or had in front of it, you'll use the word proved. Okay, so as a past participle, the verb form proved is preferred. He has proved his point. We don't usually say that, do we? He has proved his point. We usually say he has proven his point. That's not correct. Proven should never be used as a verb, only proved. He has proved his point. Now, if you turn the word proved into an adjective, that company has a record. What kind of a record? Then it becomes proven. So proven is acceptable only as an adjective. Okay, how should I write industry-wide? It's not in my dictionary. Nowadays, anything that has the word wide attached to it, make it one word. Industry-wide, nationwide, countrywide, statewide, and worldwide. All one word. Should the word onto as one word be written as one word or two in this sentence? I think we're really on to something. In this particular case, you're correct to write onto as one word in this sentence. As one word, onto is a preposition meaning in or into a state of awareness about or to a position on. He turned onto, one word, Main Street. Write onto as two words when neither of these definitions apply. I moved on to the next chapter of my book, or I passed this information on to my colleague. And by the way, this can easily be figured out. You'll know it's two words if you can omit one of those words. So I moved, I passed the information to my colleagues. So if you can leave out the word on, then you know it's going to be two words. That's kind of a little shortcut right there. Okay, any questions over chapter 8? Okay, do the reinforcement exercises at the end of the chapter, which provides more of the questions than they do in the MindTap, and then apply those principles to MindTap. Look at the podcasts that go over the first 5 of each one of the reinforcement exercises, and if you have any questions, come by, visit, call, whatever you need to do. You all have a good weekend.